Hey, this is Justin back with an engineer's perspective, and today I'm doing a mini review on this. It is a Zwilling made by Miyabi Le Cordon Bleu 5.5-inch utility knife. This is a Cutlery & More exclusive, so you can only get it through them. It is under the Zwilling brand, but it is made in the Miyabi factory. Zwilling owns Miyabi. So as I mentioned, it's a 5.5-inch blade or 140 millimeters. It has a height at the heel of 33.4 millimeters, a spine thickness of 1.8 millimeters, a weight of 95 grams or 3 ounces. Balance point is about right here between that rivet and the bolster there. You can see that. And the handle diameter at its thickest point is 15.3 millimeters right there. The steel that this blade is made out of, it is a 3-ply construction. So you've got their FC61 steel at the core with some soft stainless cladding on each side. What that makes for is a blade that's really easy to thin out and work with if you want to grind it thinner down the road. Also, it tends to, when it bends, it'll stay bent, but it's easy to bend back versus a traditional German style, like mono steel construction. When that bends, it's very springy and it's very difficult to bend it back. So those are some of the advantages of that 3-ply construction. The hard steel in the core, as I said, is FC61 at 61 Rockwell, as Miyabi goes with their naming schemes. It is an analog of AEB-L. So what that means is that it's not super stainless, but certainly stainless enough, but it has these very amazingly fine carbides and it's very tough for that hardness and being stainless. So FC61 is really, in my mind, one of the best kitchen knife steels you can work with. So I really enjoy that about this knife. It feels really amazing on the sharpening stones as well. It sharpens up really easy. It's easy to move the steel, and then it finishes with a really fine, crispy edge that's just so sharp. So it's a really great steel. Speaking of how it sharpens and the edge on it, I don't recall what it comes from the factory, but presently it's at about a 13 degree per side angle at 10 thousandths behind the edge. It's been sharpened maybe 5 times. And that's kind of on the better end of slicing and cutting capability. So it's a pretty sharp feeling knife, especially with that very slender profile. But it certainly could be thinner behind the edge in my opinion. Let's see, I already went through everything else. So let's do kind of a demonstration. What I like about this knife and what drew me in is its height. Is for such a small knife, it's quite tall. And what that means is as a utility knife, is you can actually do some rock chopping with it, which I thoroughly enjoy, and good board work. So right in the middle of the board, you know, I can rock chop. And obviously celery is not too challenging of a product, but you know, hot knife through butter is sort of a feeling. Not rock chopping. The up and down motion is okay on it, but because it is kind of a setup for the rock, is when you make contact, you have to come down. But it's a nice knife to work with. The tip is reasonably fine, but it's not fine like a lot of the other utility knives are. So the tip is just okay on this, but it's a nice on the board prep knife, and that's who this is really for. In my mind, it has a fatal flaw, and it is that this handle is quite thin. It's very skinny. And the spine of this knife is also skinny. So what that means is that when you're trying to put a lot of force through something, so let's say you're using this to cut up like a carrot, or even potatoes or apples, is that spine really digs into your finger because it's quite thin. So then my normal solution to that would be to back up off of the spine and onto this bolster here. But because it's quite tall and that thin handle, is it tends to want to rock Like it's almost no control. So and you need control going through those harder vegetables. So for me, it has an overly thin handle, but it has a great blade, and that's really where it shines. And the handle is nicely constructed. I kind of want to highlight that a little bit actually. So you can see it's a full tang construction made in the Miyabi factory in Japan, triple riveted, and it's got these really awesome blue liners in there. You see that? So there's like the steel in the middle, this cool blue liner, steel again, and then the plastic palm handles there. Very cool and very nice touch. So it's a really pretty looking handle. These are nice looking knives for sure, and I like kind of that slanty bolster. Good looking knife. These retail for about $100 right now on Cutlery & More's website. So if you're interested in getting a pretty good on the board utility knife that can do some rocking with lots of knuckle clearance there, then this might be the knife for you. Just noting that when you go through some harder product, that this is either going to dig into you a little bit or it's going to be a little bit wobbly if you're holding on to the handle. So that's all I've got. Thank you for watching. Have a good one. Bye.